Hey everyone, it's your girl Nikki here, coming with another part of a testimony today. I'd like to say thank you to everyone who consistently supports me. Thank you for your emails, your messages, likes, comments, shares. I love you all, so thank you. Today's topic is all about success. What do we need to do to achieve our goals that God actually has set? How do we strive to be better than we were yesterday? I've had so many emails of people asking me, Nikki, what do I do first? What's the first thing that I need to do? How can I get my dream to turn into reality? What do I need to do? And the first thing I always say is understand exactly what your dream is. If you understand what your dream is, then you've got somewhere to go for. If you don't even know what your dream is, like what you want to get to, then you have to start with some soul searching. But the first thing you have to understand is, what is your goal? What's your dream? Why do you want to do that thing? What is the passion? Do you have a passion? Because if you don't have a passion for what you do, it's very likely that it won't be successful. Whatever your goal or your aspiration is, write it down. Declare it, decree that it will happen and you will get there. I'm 15, I get my first job on the market stall selling fruit and vegetables. Listen, people used to laugh at me. I was 15 and we know how it is. When you're 15, you've got to look cool. And people used to laugh at me. They used to walk past the high street and laugh and say, that's where my roots started. Some people like to pretty their journey. My journey was on the fruit and veg stall. Okay. And then I got a couple of jobs in between. And by the time I was 18, I got a job in a bank. Started off as a cashier. I was going to buy a house. I'm going to stop you there because sometimes people don't take young people seriously. So when I said at 18 that I wanted to buy a house, everyone laughed at me. Everyone told me, are you sure? You know, you might be rushing into things. I remember my mum saying, walk before you can crawl. And they're all legitimate concerns. And let's be real here, let's understand the risks. So whatever you're doing, you need to understand the risks. I would also say some risks are worth taking. So weigh up the risks and decide whether it's something that, you know, is worth doing. You'll have people tell you that you don't need to be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. This is not for you. You're aiming too high. You're too ambitious. Calm down, slow down. But I'm here to tell you, as a walking testimony, as long as you weigh up your risks and you have the passion, go for that dream. Whatever it may be, as long as you have the passion and you weigh up the risks, go for it. You got Nikki telling you to go for it right now. Because people, they try to help and they try to advise, but nobody's you and nobody knows God's plan for your life. And sometimes, I'm going to put it out there, don't tell people your dreams. Be very careful who you tell your dreams to. Be very careful who you confide in, because unfortunately there is a jealous spirit out there. There is that negative, bad mind spirit that people will try and jeopardize you. I had that. At 18, I had people telling me, you're too young. Don't do it. Be careful. This is not the right time. The climate, the this, the that and the whatever. But guess what? As long as you have a relationship with God and you know that you've weighed up your risks and you have a passion for it, you will get there. I'm going to tell you my passion, which you probably laugh, okay? Because my passion wasn't, I wanted to be a property developer. It wasn't, you know, I've got this big plan that I want to be an entrepreneur. My passion was, I wanted my boyfriend to come round to my house and mummy wouldn't let me have him round. The role of parents is vital. The role of parents is absolutely integral to our children's future. If my mum had allowed me to have my boyfriend coming round, maybe I wouldn't have the ambition that I have today, because the reason why I wanted to buy a house was because I wanted to move out my mother's yard. There you go, I'm saying it. I wanted to move out my mother's yard and have my man come round and visit me. So my mum, she made it clear, no man now coming out this yard here. So you better know what you have to do. So there's me, big old bullshit, thinking, you know, all my friends have got their man coming round their yard. I want to have my man coming around my yard. I used to sneak him in a few times. Mum, if you're watching, I'm sorry, innit? Real raw reflection. Mummy gonna beat me later. I did used to sneak him in, but it weren't that time. Like, it weren't worth the risk. We're talking about weighing up the risks. It's really not worth the risk. So there I am. I want to get my house because I want my man to come round. It's simple. Like, I was young. So this is when I first started the job in the bank, and all I could think about was buying my own house. That was my motivation. You have to have motivation for your passion. If you're not motivated, it is not going to work. So I was there keen and excited. When I joined the bank, all I wanted to find out was, how can I get a mortgage? How can I get my own house? I began to understand how this mortgage thing all works, basically. And I knew I needed money. Can't buy a house without cash. And I'm going to tell you honestly, people out there, when I first started, I was earning £900 per month. Can you imagine these days earning £900? I was living at home with mummy. I was earning £900. I used to give mummy £200. I used to take £100 to help me with my little bus pass and my little fangle dangles. And the rest I put in my ISA savings account. Now the struggle was real because there was many temptations. I used to have my friends call me, come on Nick, let's go out, let's go on holiday, let's go out to dinner, let's do this, let's do that. I tell you, when you know your dream and you know your passion, don't budge. Do not succumb to the temptation. Resist. Your friends may mean well, but they don't understand your journey. They don't understand what God's got in store for you. So you have to be strong, and you have to make sure that you stick to what it is that you've said you're going to do. Sometimes I used to get laughed at because they used to say I was a little granny staying at home, and I would stay at home. I did that solidly for 2 years. I also got a job part-time in a bar, and I worked there, and I tried to earn as many tips as I could, and I saved every single penny that I got. Picture this, you got me going to the bank from in the morning, getting to the bank around 8:30, leaving the bank around 5, rushing home, having a quick wash, bathe, changing to get to the bar for 7 p.m. till the bar finishes at 1, get home for about 2, sleep a little bit, back to the bank, and I was going round like that. I realised leaving that place at 1 o'clock in the morning was not safe, so I purchased a car. I did divert a little bit, purchased a car, but after purchasing my car, I didn't spend any more money on that, and that was literally for safety purposes. So it's important, as I said, I'm going to keep saying this throughout, weigh up your risks, because you don't want to go out killing yourself and then you basically put yourself at risk. So the dream, you have to hustle, but you also got to weigh up the risk, because, you know, an 18, 19-year-old girl coming out, getting on the bus at 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, especially where we lived. 2 years of hard saving, and then, you know, I come up with a good deposit, and I felt like, yeah, I'm ready to buy this house. So, excited, ready, I go in, I'm like, yep, I'm ready for the mortgage, I got my deposit, let's do this. Within the 1 year of me being in the bank, I did get promoted a couple of times, so my income went up. But when I went to get the mortgage, they told me that my income wasn't enough to get the house that I wanted, that I needed a bigger deposit. So you can imagine all that hard grinding, slaving away. There comes a blocker, something to tell me that this is not going to happen. Like, you're going to have to say, when I worked it out, another 2 years just to be able to get what you want. And I'm like, this is too much. I'm killing myself here. Everyone's having fun and I'm here slaving away. And I'm still 2 years away. Sometimes the enemy will throw in curveballs. So you might be going towards a goal, and as you get to that goal, the goal's moved again. And I'd say don't give up. You know, at first you don't succeed, try again. Like, I was stopped so many times. I was told I couldn't do it so many times. I was told I didn't meet criteria so many times. And I then began to seek advice. So the mortgage advisor, he tells me, maybe get somebody else on who can put their income with you, move in with someone, do something. So here's me, light bulb moment, Mrs. Ambition, hey boyfriend, let's buy a house together. I got all the deposit, you don't need to come up with any money. I've got this great idea. We won't have to worry about my mum knocking on the door, like coming in, asking me who's in my room, you jumping out the window. We won't have to worry about any of that. We can get a house now. You earn enough, I've worked it all out, I've done all the maths. Let's start house hunting. You know what's coming, right? So he turns around and he says, hell no. You're too young. You don't need to be doing that. Don't even bother. I'm definitely not coming in the house with you. This is not going to happen. You need to go on holiday. You need to have fun with your friends. You're too fast. You're just rushing this thing. You're coming too quick. Let me tell you. He actually went to the point of saying, if you buy the house, it's over. Ultimatum time. It's either me or the house. Lord? So we were over at that point. The relationship ended. So at 19, 20, the relationship ended. And before my 21st birthday, I was promoted. I was one of the youngest bank managers in the company, I believe, at the time. And I was then earning enough to get my first flat. So before I was 21, I bought my first flat. And I was ecstatic. I'm going to stop there because what I'm trying to say is there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be things that happen in our life that we don't understand. I asked myself, Lord, why? Why is this guy like, this is like an opportunity of a lifetime. He doesn't have to put any money in. I'm going to do everything. Why doesn't he want to do this? Well, let me tell you, people do things that they want to do. There's no other thing. They either want to do it or they don't. And if they don't, sometimes us as women have to read the red flags. Men too. The red flags are there. They're right there in our faces, but we choose to make excuses for people. We choose to pretend or fool ourselves and tell ourselves that it is what it isn't. So at that point, why did God show me a sign and I still didn't take it? But that's tomorrow's testimony. Anyway, so at this point, I'm thinking to myself, why? And that's another thing. We believe that God allows things to happen to us. But sometimes we have to understand things happen for us, not to us. And if we understand that part, I'll repeat that. Things happen for us, not to us. I hear so many people, me included, say, Lord, why is this happening to me? Why me? Why has he left me? Why? But it's not why is it happening to me, it's for me. And when we understand that things happen for us, it's so much easier to transition because as soon as he left, it was like the breakthrough. I then got promoted. So many things began to happen for me. My life changed for the better because I was not only being obedient to God, sometimes we need to take a look around us. Have a look. Who's around you in the good times? Who's around you in the bad times? Do you notice that good things happen to you when certain people ain't in your life? I've started to figure that out right now. Every time something good has happened, there's been certain individuals that have never been in my life. We're doing certain things. The key is not everyone needs to know your goal. Not everyone needs to know your dream. Pray on it. Think about it before you start divulging your business to people. Second of all, weigh up the risks. Have a look at what could potentially go wrong and how am I overcoming this? What are the dangers of me doing this? How can I overcome that? Thirdly, have a think about the people that you have around you during your story and with the glory, because you'll see patterns. There's clear-cut patterns on who's around in the low and who's around in the high. That's how my journey started. I bought the house just before my 21st birthday. I then was the youngest bank manager of the company. My income went up. I was then able to afford the flat. So I just want to encourage someone today. And there is a part 2 to this testimony, and it goes on to the whole property development and how I got more than one, etc. but we always start at the root with Nikki knows now, as we should know by now. And and what I'm saying is I'm encouraging you to step out on faith. You know, that small mustard seed of faith. If anyone's ever told you that you can't do it, if anyone's ever told you that it's not the right time, if anyone's ever told you that you're not good enough or you're not worthy enough, or even if you're telling yourself you can't do it, it can't be done, I'm telling you today it can. All I had was a vision, you know, and the Bible tells us that God makes every situation for our good. So there was me trying to get a house. Let's see how ironic this is. I'm trying to get a house that I can spend time with my boyfriend, and I end up leaving the boyfriend and getting the house. So technically, God was showing me, you've got this all twisted, but God will make everything good. God makes everything good. Everything will work out for the good when we've got our God involved. And even though I was at the time backsliding because, you know, I had the boyfriend and we were doing whatever, God's still within. You know, greater is He that is within me. So when we think we're rolling alone, God's always in the background working on our behalf. We just have to open our eyes and see this. We just have to open our eyes and spot God's plan. And I want to encourage you today that you know what you want to do. You've got it in your mind. You've had it for a long time. It could be something, you know, to some people it could be simple, but to you, this is what you want to do. Don't let no one knock your dream. Don't let no one knock your goal. It could be you want to lose weight this year. It could be you want to go to university. It could be you want to be a lawyer. You want to be a doctor. You want to be a life coach. You want to be, you know, you want to be married. Whatever it is, go for your goal. Soul search, understand your passion, understand your dream. Anything is possible as long as you let God lead you. And I don't want to focus on the negative, but it's very important that we look at what can delay us. Because I honestly believe that I could have got that house earlier. I honestly believe that I could have had more houses now if I had spotted the red flags, if I had cut the soul tie, if I had taken away the deep-rooted jealous friends, if I had stopped investing my time and energy into people and things that were not of God and not helping my journey. These are the things that we need to spot from early so that we don't waste time, because our destiny, our plan, our path is already set. It's us who determines how quickly we get there, because it's already set. What is for us will never be not for us. So we delay our own journey sometimes. And it's important. We delay our journey sometimes, and we need to soul search. We need to get rid of it. Take away whatever it is that's blocking that journey. You know, we know when we're doing something wrong. We know when something is not right. Have a think. What is it? Who is that person that every time they're around me, something negative happens? Every time I'm in that presence, something negative happens. Every time I do that specific activity, something happens. Stop it. I had to stop raving. I had to stop smoking. I had to stop doing a lot of things for God to start working in my life the way He wanted to work. Because He was always working, but I was blocking it and suppressing it. Sometimes, you know, we pull out scriptures that support us, and then we try to close our eyes to the scriptures that tell us off. But remember, the Bible tells us, that Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So we can't be here looking at, parts of the scripture and not following all, because we are blocking our own destiny. We are blocking what God has already set for us. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I want to encourage you today. You can do all things. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Who is it that overcomes the world? Only the one who believes that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. I write these things to who believe in the name of Son of God, that you may know that you have eternal life. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. I could go on with the scriptures that encourage us that we can do all things. Do not let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. I am a walking, living testimony that you can. You can do it. You can do it. And I would even encourage you today. You know I like to set tasks. You know I'm interactive. And I'd like to set a task today that you write down just 2 things. But if you can't think of 2, just one thing you want to achieve. Just one. Whether it's by the end of the year. And then write down what you can do this week to get there, and then next week to get there, and next month or 3 months. Set yourself some goals on what you can do to achieve that long lifetime ambition. Then, you know I like to see proof and evidence. Then I'd like to see some tweets, Instagram, Facebook messages, emails on how it's been going. Share your story, tell me how it's going, comment, like, share, tell a friend. But we're going to take this challenge this week that we will write down a goal and we're going to go for it this week. And we're going to remove, even if it's removing anything that's in the way, taking this thing to church, remove anything, any adversary. You know I pray that prayer every morning. Anything, any negative spirit or anything that's trying to stop you from your goal. I pray today that we just remove it. Remove it, Lord. Remove. Our people need to strive. We need to reach that top. You know, money's the root of all evil, but we need money. We need money to survive up in this world. So I'm going to say a prayer for those people that don't have jobs. I'm going to pray that God can provide a job. For those people that want to be self-employed, that God will give you that extra motivation to leap out on faith, have that mustard seed worth of faith to go self-employed. I'm going to pray for those people that have a dream, a goal, and they've been struggling with it and been scared to try it out. I'm going to pray that God will put it inside of you to make it happen this week. Do something that you haven't done before. You know, I've heard a Chinese proverb, I think it is, where it says in order to get something that you haven't got before, you have to do something you've never done before. So that's the encouragement this week, and I look forward to hearing from you all. Love you all. Remember, I didn't know it then, but this is what Nikki knows now. Like, comment, share, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.